What's good, y'all? This your boy Black G92. Tonight, I'm reviewing Meek Mill's latest debut album, Championships. And when I tell you, it lives up to the hype and the title, I fucking mean it. And I'll explain further why in this review. But first off, I'm gonna name all the producers on here, which come from Papa Mitro, Andrew Mio Ray, Don Cannon, Rance 5000 of the production team, 5000 to Nothing, Bangladesh, Benny Wonder, Street Runner, Azus, Beat Menace, ATL Job, Dario, Wheezy, Wes, Molly Raw and the Trillionaires, Tay Keith, who is also graduating from a college out in Tennessee, and which I show a lot of respect to him for doing that, because not too many people can say they have a college degree while putting out hit records or producing for a big name artist. You know what I mean? Not too many people can say that. So much respect to Tay Keith. Austin Powers, EI Eyes and Pro Logic, Butter Beats and Ken 12, Q Beats, Hit Boy, Seasick, Cardo, Prince Krishan, and Hitmaker. And it has a lot of features on here. A lot of familiar names mixed in with a few newer faces. Fabulous, Anuel AA, Cardi B, Rick Ross, Jay-Z, Future, Roddy Ricch, Young Thug, Drake, Kodak Black, Ella May, 21 Savage, Melly, Jeremiah PBN Rock. Now, the album starts off with a hard-hitting intro, which samples the classic In the Air Tonight, and Meek Mill coming through, giving y'all what he usually does, bringing that rugged, raw, high-pitched Philly flow, and has hard-hitting punchlines and lyrics through that bitch. And personally, I feel like it's up there with the Dreams and Nightmares intro off his 2012 debut album, Dreams and Nightmares, as it has the similar beat change within the sample, and like Meek Mill just like switches it up and just like brings it home. Great starter, and the energy is maintained with the next track, Trauma, and it samples a classic Mobb Deep single off Infamy titled Get Away, which kind of made me feel some type of way because Project ain't here to see this, and you know what I mean? He was also a favorite rapper of mine, and Meek Mill sampled a classic record like that and doing it justice. You know what I mean? And Meek Mill touches on a lot of subjects that will pretty much dominate the first half and more the last third half of this album, like the crooked justice system and like the effects of like dealing with trauma, how it drives people to like self-medicate, especially on the second verse, which I could definitely connect with on a personal level, man. Like for real, for real. I mean, I definitely appreciate Meek Mill for kind of touching on that. And also on this track right here, he also speaks on like coming up where he's from, like North Philly, and doing what it takes to get out. You know, very hard hitting track, dope ass sample, another highlight off this album. Next track is Uptown Vibes. Has a bit of that, I don't know what you call it. It has that, I don't know what to say, but it has this like other world, I don't want to say otherworldly feel. It's like more that throwback vibe of like late 90s East Coast type sound to it. I can't really put my finger on it, but it has that vibe to it. Where I could definitely see this like played off a album that came out in '98. Like the beat kind of reminds me of that, and like Meek Mill, Fabulous, and Anuel AA bring it. Like they each compliment each other. No one outshining neither one, and even though I can't really understand. I'm not, my Spanish like sucks. I can't really like understand everything like Double A is saying. I know he's like killing shit though. That's the only thing I can kind of get from his verse right there. Another banger on that bitch, and which is somewhat of a shift into this like party type record called On Me, which features Cardi B and each of them come with hard hitting verses. Especially Cardi B, she definitely like kills it, man. I feel like she had to stand out verse on this joint right here, and she comes with this very hard hitting lyrics, just talking about like fake females, how they just like how one minute they hating on and the next minute they showing love, that type of thing. And there are some people that think it's a subliminal shot towards Nicki. I kind of sit somewhere in the middle. I can see why people may think that way because like their recent beef throughout these past several months, but I kind of lean more towards maybe Cardi B just popping shit. You know what I mean? Just in general, it could really apply to anybody. So like, I just feel like it's a hot verse, not more than less. And the next track is definitely a classic. If not already, definitely within the next 2 or 3 years. What's Free? Not only does it sample a classic B.I.G. record, What's Beef, it features Rick Ross and Jay-Z on this joint. As you know, like you can't go wrong with neither of those two like heavyweights making an appearance on this album. And also I liked how the hook kind of just flipped from like speaking on like street beef into like questioning like what is free and how the TV doesn't control what people may see on that screen and things like that. And track starts off with Rick Ross opening up with a hard hitting verse, speaking on like his days like trapping, whatever, and switching gears, like speaking on 6ix9ine situation subliminally, like which kind of caused a bit of a like extra hype around it, and a few like 6ix9ine fanboys saying, "Oh, you weak for talking about a man that's locked out," which I kind of feel is bullshit. Cause look, there's no rules to this shit. Like, anybody in the rap game can like get talked about, and like, and there's some people online complaining about the use of Rick Ross using the word faggot, which I kind of feel is not even worth the headache because it's been used for years and it's obviously not towards the LBGT. So people need to get over it and just accept that no, the word may be used in the song and no disrespectful way at all. And artists have the right to say what they want on the album. So that's a whole nother video. But anyway, like Rick Ross kills that shit. Meek Mill follows up with a verse of his own, discusses recent legal situation, like his like prison sentence, and like feeling how like the law's always had their eye on him, like since like the beginning of his career, since he was like getting money from shows and not trapping. That people still think he's still involved in legal activities. So, and he also brings up the fact that I believe his label or something like that kind of sent kids to college or whatever, like doing like and amongst other things as far as doing positive things for the community. Like Meek Mill brings up that fact as well, and he definitely a standout verse on here. But another verse that stands out on this track is Jay's verse. Oh my God! I mean, to make it short, Jay fucking has another real ass verse akin to his verse off the collaboration he did with Drake on the Talk Up joint from Scorpion. As like Jay speaks on slavery and question what is free, like pretty much falling up with the hook and pretty much let him know like even though I got all this money, like I can still got pull out here, like that type of thing. And like see how he won't be no one's slave, they'll have to like take him out. And also letting him know, like, don't put me and Kanye against each other just because we may not see eye to eye on certain, like, on political stances. We still brothers, that type of thing. And compares himself, Kanye, to Mike and Prince, saying how they each have their DNA in them. So, and he incorporates B.I.G.'s ha 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 ha. Check out this bizarre as homage to his late friend. So, definitely a good way to finish off this track. And the next track, Respect the Game, which if you're familiar with Jay-Z's like throwback shit, especially Reasonable Doubt era Jay-Z, you kind of recognize this same sample from Dead Presidents 1 and 2. As this track right here, Respect the Game, is more on that essentially like lays out the rules of like of the do's and don'ts of the street life, and it could also like be a double entendre as far as the rap game. I mean, it could be just a wild speculation, but I kind of got that sense of it within the hook. And Meek Mill brings home with his verses and touch on the legal issues that he faced, and amongst other things. Another top 5 track off the album. And Splash Warning, it's a cool song. I mean, Future's little hook slash verse he was doing there, it's kind of took me a while to get used to. Kind of just felt like just lazy in a sense, because he's just making like do 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 do, not really putting much effort to it, but it's alright. Doesn't really take away from what Meek Mill, Young Thug, and Roddy Ricch bring in, which I fuck with Young Thug's verse. Like, he just come in, just lace that shit, man. I'm actually surprised on there, man. Shoot. But on the other token, he has done the same thing on Rick Ross's Trap 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 song off Rick Ross's 2017 joint. I forgot what the name of the album though. I forgot the name of the album, but Young Thug shines on that song as well as on this song right here. And Roddy Ricch doesn't too bad himself at all. The title track, Championships, is another hard-hitting, soulful record. As like the sample that's like will definitely bring in your feelings, man, and just have you reflect on shit that's going on throughout America. As Meek Mill talks about the pill addiction epidemic that's taken over not only his town of North Philly, but hoods throughout America. And he speaks on how like the young folks out there just like pop pills and like the cope with the pain that comes with street life, and not having guns in hand, and as well as not having positive male role models in their lives also leads them to facing court and going to prison and such. And Meek Mill also speaks on, based on his status as a celebrity, feels he's pretty much has that reach and the voice for those that's still in the struggle. So it was definitely another classic in the making right here. I can definitely see that. And follows up with the energetic Going Bad, the first track that Drake and Meek Mill have done together since Rico, before their beef that happened that same year, and continue on since like for a good 2 years. And it was good to see them like back on the track again, as they still have this same chemistry and energy that was prevalent whenever they did songs together, like Amen and Rico. And it's a pretty cool song. You definitely see this taking off and having a video shot for it. If the labels are smart, definitely capitalize off this. And Almost Slip is more so a track about Meek Mill just begins heartbroken by a woman that's promiscuous, or what people may call a thought. So, like, pretty much on that subject matter. It's a cool little record. Not much to it. Has a very like slow instrumental, that kick back, relax, chill with your lady type record. And Tic Tac Toe, which features Kodak Black and Tape Beats, offers another banging ass instrumental. And Meek Mill like delivers some hard hitting verses, and like Kodak Black just regulated on the hook, which was like very fitting. I mean, you don't really miss him as much when he does have a verse. I mean, it definitely fits him, like doing the hook for this type of song. It was pretty cool. And next track, 24/7, which is another favorite track of mine, as it samples the classic Beyonce record, Me, Myself, and I, and feature LMA on the hook. And it's another track for the ladies, more be it like on that romantic tip, and Meek Mill saying how he like catching feelings for his chick after like dealing with it for a few days, like 365, 24/7. Like another track you play around when with your lady, whatever, on those late nights. Definitely another highlight off this album. This off the sample alone and how LMA like delivers the hook and the bridge. Who, by the way, is bringing like this quality R&B this year. Like LMA, this was definitely her year, which I'll discuss in the next video. And next track goes back to those soulful, introspective type records he been on since the very beginning of this album, titled "Oodles and Noodles, Babies." As those that may not know, Oodles and Noodles is like pretty much a brand of like cup of noodles that you get from like Walmart, Dollar Tree, places like that. And as Meek Mill said himself on the intro, it's dedicated to those that rice off that product and just cut from that cloth. And not only that, he also discusses like how he was kind of forced to grow fast at 5, 6 years old, like when his dad like was shot and killed. So very heartfelt and pretty much illustrates why Meek Mill is the way he is and such like that. What led him to like now this path of going back and forth to jail and being on probation for damn near a decade. I mean, and also touches on like how come so many kids is that crazy due to having like a parent or parents on drugs like crack, that sort of thing. So definitely another like heartfelt track that's worthy of repeat listens. Classic in Meek Mill's discography. Highly recommend it. And I'm gonna switch gears again to more of that street shit. Pay You Back, which features another standout verse from 21 Savage. Man, like I don't know what's going on with 21 Savage, but he been delivering as far as like guest features. He definitely shine. He's not fucking around. Now he always been hard, but like this year, 21's just been like not playing games here. But by the way, the track is based on like the whole concept of like don't cross me or like it's gonna be serious consequences type like record. You know what I mean? So like Meek Mill also delivers a hard hitting verse as well that complements 21 Savage verse. Definitely can see that played in a whip or at a party somewhere. Probably when like last call for alcohol, that type of thing. And 10 Summers is another of those introspective records following Oodles and Noodles. As like Meek Mill speaks on like how he walks through the valley of the shadow of death and just hope he gets home safe and not be another casualty. And stating how folks in his like area of North Philly like end up getting killed in the parking lot, that sort of thing. And guessing the title 100 Summers has something to do with like the murder rates that goes on in areas such as North Philly and throughout America, as far as like street crime and such. So I'm guessing that's where the title kind of comes from, all the like the killings and stuff that goes on. It feels like 100 summers of such activity. I could be wrong, but let me know in the comments section. With the Shits, which features Melly, it's a cool little song. It's basically Meek Mill saying how his chick is with the shits, like down to fuck, like do drugs, drink, whatever, that sort of thing. Not much to it. And Stuck in My Ways, self-explanatory. Essentially saying like how Meek Mill feels like he's stuck in his ways as far as like flossing, street shit, and sort of thing. And the second to last track on this album, Dangerous, which has already appeared on this EP. I forgot what the title of it was, but it had Summer in it. It's a cool song. I just felt I kind of felt it was out of place on there, as like I said, it's already appeared on a EP this past like summer or whatnot, and it's been on the radio already. So I didn't see no point of it being on there. I mean, not saying it's bad. It just stands out like a sore thumb. Like if this track was on this album, it wouldn't be missed. Definitely wouldn't be missed. And the next track is the sequel to his previous song, Cold Hearted. As the title says, Cold Hearted 2. essentially speaking on how the same people he was popping bottles and like flossing cash with and hustled with were never there to kind of help him out while he was sentenced in prison and things like that. And when he comes home and gets back on top, them same people act like he owes them some, which is definitely another relatable like topic, man. As for those that have been wronged by people that you would call friends, but like when you focus on your own shit and recognize their shisty fake ways, they act like you done them wrong, which is like the other way around. And very fitting ending to a amazing ass album, like I said earlier. And if I had to give this album a rating, it'll definitely be a high 4.5 out of 5. It is short of a 5 because like the couple songs on there I didn't really care for. Actually, maybe like it was like maybe two songs I didn't really care for, which like weren't necessarily bad, but if you left them off, you wouldn't really miss them. Like I just mentioned, Dangerous with the shits and I shoot almost slipped. I mean, it would be like the last one I'll probably remove, but it would definitely wouldn't be my first choice. But if I had to pick three songs, it's like leave off the album just to get that 5 rating, it would definitely be those three. Well, other than that, hard hitting album from start to finish. Meek Mill like shows a lot of growth and maturity on this album, akin to a lot of the more recent albums that kind of touch on a similar subject matter. And definitely recommend it to those that are either Meek Mill fans or just looking for an album with substance. This is Black G. I'll be back with another review. All right. Peace.